Hey gang, Sean from The Good Dog with Mr. Oliver out here in the Bywater, taking a little cruisy cruise. Great response to my post yesterday. Finished the audiobook, by the way. Thank you guys for all your help with that, the titles. But great response to the post about encouraging people to try the tools in real life, to get some real hands-on experience, to actually have a trainer help them with them, or watch a bunch of videos, or just get some actual experience rather than passing judgment on tools that they don't have any experience with. And I think when it comes down to it, if you were to sit down and get an honest answer out of 99% of people that are saying what they're saying about prong collars, e-collars, you'd find they've never actually used one. They've never touched one. They've heard stories. They've seen, some pictures or something that are purported to be abusive stuff, whatever. So really, really happy with the response from that. I think it's just a good message just for people to be smart and to be responsible for their opinions, and that their opinions should be born out of actual information that they've gleaned rather than hearsay and this and that. Now, moving on, what I want to talk about today is the opposite. The opposite being, so many people commented that these tools, in the right hands are great. In the wrong hands, they're super abusive, or can be super abusive, or easily abused, or blah, 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 blah. So first of all, let's just cut to the chase and just say, anybody who's a crappy person is going to be a crappy person with their dog regardless of what tools they have. They're going to find a way to be nasty and inhumane with their dog no matter what. Anybody who's a good person is going to do their very best to find the very best way with whatever tools they're using with their dog. They're going to look for information, they're going to look for help, because they're smart, caring individuals. Here's what I've seen, right? Everybody's saying these tools are going to be easily abused, put into people's hands, and they're going to just like push buttons, and they're going to like correct the hell out of their dog with the prong collar and zap the dog at 100 with the e-collar. What have I seen? I've seen the opposite. On less than one hand, I can remember the clients that have had to say, go easier, less pressure. Let's go more mild. Let's turn the dial down. We don't need that level. Let's go for a lower level. Let's use less pressure on the prong collar, right? Like literally on less than one hand, I think I can count those clients. What I can count on a gazillion hands are how many clients I've had to say, you need to use more pressure. You need to roll up on the e-collar. Your dog is totally ignoring what you're trying to say to it. Your dog is totally checking out. You're nagging your dog. Your dog doesn't feel that. Your dog doesn't care about that. That prong collar correction that you just thought was really, really effective and resonated didn't even register on the radar. That e-collar correction at that level 20 that you thought was, holy crap, 20 out of 100, that's like gonna blow his mind, and that your dog was like, I didn't really care about that. That's what I've seen over and over and over again. I've seen the opposite. I've seen people needing to be encouraged to use these tools in a more effective way, using more pressure. Right? Which everybody's, oh, more pressure, more pressure. Yes, sometimes the only way to make things work is with more pressure, not with less pressure, even though that's what everybody wants to push message-wise, that we can just go lower and lower and lower and lower. That's great, except for when it's not great, except for when it doesn't work, except for when the dog doesn't care about it. Oh, we're gonna do the threshold, conversation. Well, you need to work the dog under less distraction and less threshold. We got real life going on, folks. Yes, we wanna work the dogs in fair environments, but you can only do so much. You can't train a dog in a bubble, right? So there are times when more pressure is needed to be fairer to the dog, to be kinder to the dog, to help the dog more, to help the dog get to a better space, to help the dog make better decisions, to help the dog prioritize what you guys are doing together, to help your dog actually respect what you're asking for, rather than just tuning you out because you don't matter. But what the deal is that almost without exception, we have to encourage owners to do that and go higher rather than encourage owners, hey, you know, you guys gotta go lower. Like, you guys are like really, really like burning your dog up here. You guys are like yanking that prong like nobody's business. You guys are like, we don't see that. Guys, I mean, maybe you guys are seeing something different than what we're seeing. And if you're looking at just like the handful of videos of bad training going around, which is just like the news and showing the 1% of crappy stuff going on, well, yeah, you'll find that stuff. But that's not what we're seeing with everyday regular people and lots of them. What we're seeing is the necessity to encourage them to use higher pressure, to be firmer with their dogs, to actually share consequences that matter and resonate with their dogs rather than underwhelming or nagging them. So what do we see? We see the opposite. That's the stuff nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, these like everybody's just running around like punching buttons and like yanking their dogs' heads off and things like that. Guys, that's not the case. If it is the case, it's a teeny tiny little case. And that's like anything in the world. There's gonna be crappy stuff that goes on in some small percentage, no matter what, whether we're talking about dog training or anything else in the world. So, I don't want this to go too long, but I want to really remind everybody that from a dog training standpoint, a dog trainer who sees a hell of a lot of clients come through in multiple locations, teaches a ton of people through seminars, training trainers and training owners, that over and over again, what is the thing that needs to be reminded to people more than anything else? And that's not to go softer, not to go softer, not to go softer. It's to go firmer. And that doesn't mean that's a one-size-fits-all. There are those people occasionally you have to say, slow down, use a little bit less pressure. It happens, but it's rare. It's almost always people being conscientious and careful and like, is that okay? And you have to give them permission. Yes, it's okay. Your dog doesn't care about that 12 that you just tapped on the e-collar. How do you know? Because he shows you. Because he completely ignored it, because there was no response, because it didn't register. How about the prong collar pop that you thought was like life-changing because he looked at a dog and your dog immediately looked back at the dog and was like, that's not a life-changing correction. That's people being afraid to use the tools in a way, to use the tools in a way that actually gets the best response. And that's what we see over and over and over again, is the opposite of abuse, the opposite of going heavy, the opposite of just being button happy or yank happy. What we see are people being cautious, conscientious, careful, and responsible. That's what we see the most of. That's a little door that you don't want to get behind. Nope. Look at Oliver, hanging tight, even with that like sniper attack of all sniper attacks. Whew. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, guys. Just remember, what you hear out there doesn't necessarily mean that that's reality. I'm telling you, as somebody who works with a whole lot of people, we see the opposite. We don't see the button happies. We don't see the yank happies. We see the people being careful. We see the people needing encouragement. So, just want to put that out there, a little counterpoint, and add to the conversation from yesterday. Me and Oliver, we got walks to do, dogs to go do battle with, and wish us well. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.